Join me right now is UFC lightweight Matt Frevola. Matt, back again with me, man. It's been a
Yeah,
long 2020 for you, man. Like, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good, man. Weight's on point, training camp's going great. Everything's on schedule and ready to just, finish out these last 2 hard weeks and then head out to Vegas and head out to Fight Island.
Let's go back to your last fight. It was canceled, and they mentioned some injury that you had. Could you take us through that?
Yeah, man, it was pretty shitty. It was my last sparring session, the last round. I threw a low kick and it kind of like chipped off like his knee at a weird spot, and I ended up breaking my foot. I broke like the second metacarpal in my foot, and then I went to Vegas early to have the PI treat it, hoping that I could get it like shot with like lidocaine or cortisone or something, and but they gave me the no go. They took like the MRI of it and saw that it was fractured, and then and had to pull me off the card. It sucked.
Oh, definitely. How long were you off your feet for?
Um, well, it was my last sparring session at that camp. So and then I was icing it. I was pretty much limping through the airport like and I ended up like going to the fight week and tried like so hard not to show everyone that I could barely walk, and I just didn't want to accept that I had done it. And but everything happens for a reason. After that injury, I was in a dark place, because I had those two fights canceled due to COVID. Then I had that third fight canceled because I broke my foot in my last sparring session. So I was real down. But I kept faith. I kept training. I kept living the right way. And we got this fight now, which is a bit bigger, better card, a better opportunity. It's the fight that I've wanted, all along. So everything happens for a reason, and now we're here now with this fight, and I'm happy about this.
Everything does happen for a reason. Do you think that the Roosevelt fight will just never happen?
I don't know, man. He's gotta get back on the winning
Okay.
side. I know it was tough for him too. Having an
Mhm.
opponent change like last minute like that, and he didn't have the best performance, but I know he's a good fighter, and he'll be back. So we'll see. I could see that fight definitely happen eventually down the line.
With the foot, did you have to have surgery or not? Could you recover with just some therapy?
Yeah, no surgery. I just had
Mhm.
to give it the 6 to 8 weeks to let the bone heal and just rehab. So we're good now.
That's 6 to 8 weeks, man. Was it the toughest 6 to 8 weeks of this year?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, but I got real good strength and conditioning and physical therapy back home in Long Island, New York, acceleration sports training, and I got in there, and I was able to really rehab my foot, and I actually also tore my labrum in my shoulder during that camp, but I got a cortisone shot in it, so it kind of masked the pain. It was a rough camp, that one. Like, like that Camacho camp, I go through it, no, not one injury. It was like a perfect camp, and then my cornerman has COVID, and they pulled me off the camp or the card. And then the last camp, the Roosevelt camp, it was rough. I tore my labrum, I broke my foot, and it didn't work out. But now this camp, it's going good. I think 2020 was a tough year for me, but I stayed training. I stayed in the gym. I stayed leveling up, and now we got this fight, and I've been busy. I've been constantly training and getting better, and I'm ready to put that on display for the world, uh, January 23rd.
Definitely leveling up because, like you said, you've been training the whole year, and you've been through many camps, but also going through all of these trials and tribulations mentally. Probably you've grown the most in throughout your whole career. Can you say that?
Yeah, definitely can. I mean, yeah, it was tough, but 2020 was tough for a lot of people,
Mhm.
and in the end of the day, what else would I rather be doing than living the martial artist lifestyle and training and working on my craft every day. So yeah, could be worse.
So you're back on Long Island. You're doing the rehab. You get back into training. Did you stay in Long Island the whole time?
Yeah, I was home. I was home for most of the time, and then I went out to back down to Tampa to help out my boy Billy Q prepare for Gavin Tucker. He had a tough fight, but it was a real growing fight for him. So and he's healthy and in a good headspace and ready to really improve from that fight. And then I was down in Tampa, and then I went out to Vegas and did a little training out in Vegas. I was staying with Aljamain at his new beautiful house out there. So it was a good time, always a good time out in Vegas, training with Alon Cruz and the guys over at 10th Planet Vegas. It was a good time out there, and then I went back home for a couple weeks for Christmas, and back home in Long Island, training with the Sarah Longo boys. Always amazing training with Ray Longo, Matt Sarah, all those guys, and now I'm back in Tampa finishing camp. So I was making moves.
Yeah, definitely a lot of work, man. A lot of work, and I think Sarah Longo, some of the best coaches in the business, and some of the best cornering in the business. Will you be having one of them in your corner in this fight?
Yeah, not this one. This one
Mm,
I'm sticking with my Gracie Tampa South guys,
okay.
Matt Arroyo, my striking coach Dan Rawlings, and I'm bringing that Billy Q kid with me too, just to beat up during fight week.
Yeah, I love Billy Q. Great, great. Now, with your opponent coming up, man, Ottman, he is a guy that is a wild man. He's a wild man. That's all I can say, man. He will go out there and just throw bolos, and he has no fear. Have you experienced or competed against a guy like that in the past?
No, man. This guy, this undefeated, 11 first round knockouts. These are the fights I live for. And in Abu Dhabi, Fight Island, on the Conor McGregor card, it doesn't get bigger than that. And I'm prepared. I'm excited. These are the fights that get my blood boiling, and that really excites me. And I remember when I was undefeated. I was very similar to how he is, and I got humbled, and that's what I plan to do to him.
When you see him, and you see this undefeated record, for a casual fan, they're just gonna see that and see the highlight reel and be like, "This guy is unstoppable." When you look at him, what is the other things you see?
I see a fighter who hasn't truly been tested, and that's what I do. I go out there and I test these guys. I drag them to deep water, and we see if they could swim, and that's what I plan on doing with this guy, to really test him on the ground, test his wrestling, test him later in the fight. You know, he's definitely a very skilled striker, a lot of power, but we're gonna see. What is he gonna do when he doesn't get that first round knockout? When he may hit me, and when I'm still staring at him, I'm still in his face, I'm still coming at him. We'll see. We'll see if he can, if he's got what it takes.
Yeah, that's what's intriguing about this matchup is he does come in with that, and then you come in with your style, and to see if to see what happens when it gets down and dirty. You know what I mean? We seen you get down and dirty and come through with the win, so it's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. Another hype train that I got derail. So I'm excited about it.
So the last time we saw you was against Luis Pena. That was more than a year ago. If you could tell us, where have you elevated the most, do you think, in your skill set throughout that whole 2020?
Really everywhere, and I stay working on my striking with my coaches, Dan Rawlings down here in Tampa, and then Ray Longo and Eric Heyer back home in Long Island. I stay working on that, and then I just got my brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Matt Arroyo down here, and I stay working with all the sharks at Sarah BJJ. So really everywhere. I would say I improved everywhere, but my discipline too. my weight's so good. My conditioning right now is through the roof. And that's just living the right way. Staying being a martial artist and doing everything the right way. No shortcuts. And I've been doing that pretty much this whole year. I would say after a couple of those fight fallouts, I would let loose for like a week, but then I'd be right back to it. And I think it's all gonna pay off January 23rd.
Now, going to Fight Island, is that something that you're looking forward to since now people have gone and come back and they've told you their stories about it?
Hell yeah! I've wanted to go to Fight Island since I heard about it, and I'm thinking like Mortal Kombat,
Uh,
like all this stuff. I've wanted to go since I heard
uh,
about it, and you know it definitely has a couple more obstacles to go. You got the long flight, and then the time difference. I think I'll be fighting around like 8:30 p.m. in Eastern time, which will be like
oh,
I'll be fighting like 5:30 a.m. Abu Dhabi time, something like that. But it's nothing I can't handle, and I'll be prepared for all of it. And a couple more obstacles is again exciting for me. These are the kind of fights that really really excite me. Because it is challenging.
mhm.
Fighting a undefeated guy. He hasn't tasted that defeat yet. The guy thinks his shit don't stink. He's coming in there. I was that same way too when I was undefeated, and that excites me. And being able to go out to Abu Dhabi, I love traveling. I love fighting and traveling, and I'm real excited about it.
That fight week, there's three events. There's the one on the 16th and the 20th, and then you're on the 23rd in the big pay-per-view card. It's a Conor McGregor card. Man, there's a lot of hype heading into this show, man, especially with those two fight cards. You could watch them. Are they going to allow you to, you probably don't know yet, right? But I would figure like the fighters, if they're there, they could go watch live, right?
We'll see. If I could get in there, I'd love to get in there and watch that Calvin Cater fight, and Max Holloway. That'd be a good one. But we'll see. I know as soon as we get there, we gotta quarantine for like 48 hours, something like that. And I'll be cutting weight the whole time. I'll be pretty dialed in. But either way, it's gonna be cool being out there and having all those fighters on the island. It's gonna be nice and busy. I may be a fighter myself, but at my heart, I'm a fan too. I love seeing all these guys walking around, and I gotta get my pictures with these guys too. I can't. I'm not gonna lie. So it's cool every time I'm there. Every fight week, I love fight week. I love uh, being around all these best fighters in the world, and I'm one of them now. So I'm got to go out there and prove it.
Yeah, soaking it in, living in the moment. Is that something that you are always able to do, or is it something that you've recently, just have embraced?
Uh, yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely always in the moment, and I try to be the best I can. And actually, it's funny you said that. I just had like a session with Micah, that the UFC like mental coach, who Anthony Pettis was working with, and a couple other guys. And that's kind of what we were talking about, staying present and all that good stuff. So it's definitely important, and fighting is just as mental as it is physical. So it's good to train your mind and be prepared for all that.
Definitely, man. Well, how do you see this fight playing out? We know what Ottman's gonna try to do. What are you gonna try to do?
I'm gonna drag them to deep water and drown them.
Mhm.
I'm gonna test them everywhere, and go in there and have some fun.
Now, one last question. Of course, the main event of 257 is Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. You're UFC lightweight. They're UFC lightweights. What do you see in this rematch?
And it really exciting me. It really excites me. I think it's definitely going to be a different outcome than the first time they fought. You know, Dustin has gotten way better, and I think he's found his right weight class at 155, and same with Conor. You know, I always pull for the Americans, just the patriot in me.
Yeah.
It would be cool to watch Dustin go out there and get a big win, but I don't know. I'm not gonna put any money on it. You know.
Smart. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't put any money on it either. You know what I mean? Because
No, but I'll
Dustin's
root for the
he's an
Americans.
animal, but Conor, just that left hand, man. It's just
Yeah, he's got the death touch. I mean,
yeah.
and you know, he's coming off that Cowboy win, and it's, you know, I'm a big McGregor fan too. You know, but it's just gonna be, it's always awesome when he's coming back and fighting. It just is a different atmosphere, and to be fighting on the same card as him is like a dream come true. So it's gonna be awesome.
Definitely, man. The stage is set. January 23rd, UFC 257 pay-per-view, man. Matt, always good catching up with you, man. Enjoy Fight Island, and have fun, and all the best.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. And we'll talk after I handle business.
Take a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you